Hello, House Reviews is here, ready for my next review. And today is my first, major release of the year, not counting the movie that got released the previous year, but I watched this month. It's Dolittle, the new Robert Downey Jr.'s first major starring role that isn't in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Iron Man. And I've heard and I know a lot of people don't like this movie. It's got a really bad critic score. I think last time I checked on Rotten Tomatoes was about 12%. Yeah, so people are not happy with it. But really, I don't see I think they're being a bit too harsh in some ways. Okay, let's start the story. So, RDJ plays Dr. Dolittle, a British doctor who can communicate with animals. He used to be a world-class veterinarian, but after the tragic death of his wife, big shock, he becomes a hermit and just associates himself with his animals and doesn't really bother with the outside world. Eventually, the Princess of England informs her that the Queen is dying, and when she does die, his house will be sold, and he and his animals will be evicted. Though reluctant at first, Dolittle agrees to help, and finds out that the Queen is dying of a poison, and that there is a cure, but it's on a mythical island that no one knows exists. So Dolittle and a group of his animals, with some of the animals staying behind to watch over the Queen, along with his new self-appointed assistant, journey to this island to retrieve the cure, while being chased by a bunch of mercenaries who want the Queen dead, and also having to run into trying to evade his father-in-law, who wants revenge for the death of his daughter. So yeah, let's be honest, the story is not that great. It's not a good story, but okay, it's not original. You know where it's going to go, but yeah, what can work is if the overall narrative the overall structure of the movie works well, that you don't really care much about the story, and this kind of does. Okay, the main thing that works in this is honestly Robert Downey Jr. I mean, he's one of my favorite actors, and he has been playing British, different nationalities very well. I mean, we saw him do well in Tropic Thunder, which got him an Oscar nomination, and of course he's played Sherlock Holmes, so you know he can handle a British accent, and he does pretty well as Dr. Dolittle. I honestly think he did really well, and honestly he's a joy to watch. And he's not the only thing to love. Antonio Banderas plays Doolittle's father-in-law, and I gotta admit, I think Banderas is my favorite actor in this. Honestly, he is absolutely, he just fits into that role so well. And I just love watching him in this, and as the father-in-law. And of course, you understand where he's going with it and why he wants revenge on Dolittle. And the voice acting for the animals, the voice actors for the animals are all do a pretty good job. My favourites being Emma Thompson, and I'm glad to see her do well in this, considering that I've seen in the recent amount of movies I've seen, I've not really been a fan of her, to be honest. John Cena is also great in this. Tom Holland makes a great cameo, and Ray Fiennes plays a very entertaining tiger who also wants revenge on Dolittle. So yeah, they're good. The visuals themselves are actually pretty good. The animals all look convincing, and they feel like they're there in some cases. And to be honest, some of the sets that they use in the movie are also pretty good too. Dolittle's father-in-law's home is pretty good. It's a pretty good set. And Dolittle's own mansion is also pretty good. So yeah, that's great. But yet again, there are problems. I mean, my biggest problems are, I gotta say, first off, as I said, the story's not that good, and it's not really helped by the humor. There are some things that will get you to chuckle, but they're more visual gags rather than just comedy moments. And of course, a reliance on toilet humor. There's a bit of toilet humor in this. I really feel like I was forced. You could have not included it. So yeah, that's one thing. The action scenes, I don't know. Okay, the tiger fight scene is okay, but everything else is not really that good. And then there's the rest of the human characters. So as I said, Ben and the actors themselves. I mean, as I said, the voice acting for the animals are great, and I enjoyed Downey and Banderas, but everyone else not so much. The kid who joins Dolittle is really annoying. He does go for, basically he's like, no, I don't want to be like my family, I want to help out. Yeah, he's really annoying, and oh boy, sometimes you just can't stand him. In fact, I don't really think he just changes that much outside of fully becoming Doolittle's apprentice. Honestly, when watching that kid, I was sort of thinking that's Luke Triton from the Professor Layton series, just minus the charm, and just being completely annoying. I mean, yeah, Luke's a bit annoying in Professor Layton, in the Professor Layton video game series, but at least he's charming and a likable character and does grow. This kid doesn't. And then there's the villains. Oh gosh, I really hope I see some good villains in family movies soon. I'm getting tired of seeing the bland ones so much. Why is it so hard to create good, interesting villains in movies nowadays? Of course you have to make the main character likable and great. That's it. That's part of the reason. But it's also great to have good villains. And I hope we see some good ones this year. Or for what I see in theaters, that is. But overall, it's not. Basically, Dolittle is okay. It's not god awful, but it's okay. I don't see the hate that much for everything. Okay, as I said, I do have my problems, but I don't consider it a god awful disgrace. And I think people should be a bit more lenient. Shouldn't be too harsh on it. But it's nothing really special. So in the end, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10 half stars. Middle of the road movie, basically. If you have little kids, I say show them. If you're Robert Downey Jr. fans, give it a shot. Dolittle fans, give it a go too. But most people can maybe look to other things coming out. For instance, why don't you just wait for you can watch many of the other movies that are still out in theaters. If 1917 is still out, go watch that. And yeah, or just I don't know, wait for Sonic the Hedgehog the Sonic the Hedgehog movie next month. In fact, I think that's actually the next movie I'll be watching in theaters. So yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. Who knows? If something else comes out I want to see, I will do it and review it. But in the meantime, for the absolute certainty is Sonic the Hedgehog movie will be one of my next movie release cinema movie reviews. But in the meantime, as those reviews is out, I'll catch you later for my next video, which will probably be gaming related. Ciao.